Sam, welcome.
Hi.
5 curly career questions.
Okay.
Love it. Okay, so I've known you for many, many years.
Yeah.
Your background, you're currently in project delivery,
Yeah.
and your background is in business development and marketing, and you kind of got into projects from that business development angle because your forte is in setting up business divisions who then become their own entities, and the projects are in the short and long term with European and UK stakeholders. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. It's kind of varied, long and bread,
Okay.
but yeah, so business development
Okay.
and accidentally fell into projects, which I really like. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay. And worth noting that you also have a side hustle making, as the founder of Frisky Whiskers,
Yep.
making fabulous homemade dog collars and leads in the UK, which I love.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's the creative side.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for coming along. We've tried to do this a few times, and I'm so pleased that we've made it happen. So thank you.
No, thank you. It's exciting. Looking forward to it.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So your first question. Tell me about a time when you experienced a career transition or a time when you felt stuck.
Okay, so I I always relate this to my most recent experience, I think. So during lockdown, I think we can all remember that time. It was a very difficult
Mm-hmm.
time. During
Mm.
lockdown, I was one of the people that got made redundant in my company.
Okay.
Um, so during that time, I thought to myself, I've always wanted to do something creative. I've always had a yen to set up my own business and do something that I really love. So I set up a business making soft furnishings, curtains,
Mm.
blinds. I'm qualified to do that as well. I sort of did my course and got the professional qualification in that. Um, and so I did that, and it was good. It was good for a while, and I really enjoyed it. And then I suddenly didn't. It took away
Mm.
the love of what I intended it to be. I intended it to be something that I enjoyed doing every day. I found that it was lonely. There was something inside me that just wasn't being fed. That whole grrr.
Mm. Yeah.
So, and it just turned out to be something I did not enjoy, but I thought I should enjoy it. So I was
Mm.
stuck. It was something that it took the love away. It took the love away of something that I thought I should love,
Mm.
and I did love it. The business was fine,
Mm.
but it didn't feed me in the way I
Mm.
expected it to, and it took my love away of what I originally intended it to be. So I felt really stuck.
Mm.
Yeah, and that was difficult, but I came through that.
Yeah. You do hear that. I've read that somewhere actually, that when people turn like their hobby into their business, sometimes they kind of, the love just disappears kind of thing. So good
Yeah.
on you though for recognizing it. Um,
Thank you.
okay. So, when you start out on your career back in, our 20s and maybe earlier, and then, get through our 30s and 40s, what way have your priorities changed?
That's a really interesting question actually. And I think it would be a different answer depending on what age you ask somebody.
Totally.
Um, so I think you've just hit the nail on the head really in the question, in that your 20s, 30s, 40s, and now I'm entering my 50s. So when I was 20, I was a different animal. I lived for work. I hated weekends. I climbed the ladder. Everything was career focused.
Mm.
Absolutely loved it. It made me tick. It was everything. Still is, in a
Mm.
different way. Um, 30, you discover yourself, know who you
Mm.
are. 40, different again. Family life, kids getting married, all of that stuff.
Mm.
It does. It's an extra layer on your life. It doesn't take over, but for me, it was just extra layers on
Mm.
top of what I already had.
Mm.
Um, so my priorities have changed with age,
Mm.
but I think the main thing when my priorities have changed is the fact that I've changed. So, and that has just filtered everything else.
Yeah.
I've changed, the way I see the world has changed. I trust my filter a lot more. I'm a lot more self-aware. So yeah, I think that has changed my priorities. The fact that I've just
Yeah.
got older, and yeah, and
Yeah, it's
I
interesting.
like the
I like
version
that.
of me that is now. I respect the version of me when I was 20 and 30, but I didn't very much like her from the
Okay.
filter that I now have.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Your third question.
Okay.
What are a couple of key resources, or maybe it's pieces of advice that you've had along the way?
Ooh, that is really, I really, really had to think about this one. Um, Pieces of advice. Um, I think, I know this, it, I won't say, I'm not going to answer the question directly because I
Okay.
feel like, yes, I, there have been pieces of advice, but
Hmm.
I think that actually my takeaways from that is, um, I got the advice from having good bosses and bad bosses. And
Okay.
I think that my favourite boss, the best boss I ever had, was more like a mentor.
Hmm.
He taught me about self-awareness, self-discovery, trusting my instincts, valuing my skills, and they're different
Hmm.
to everybody else's. Doesn't make me wrong, it just makes it different. And knowing where my place was in terms of like
Yeah.
where I could really add value and to be true to myself. And that wasn't a piece of advice, it was just that
Hmm.
journey that took me on, which I really appreciated. Fantastic. I wouldn't be
Hmm.
where I am now without him.
That's,
Bad bosses equally taught me lessons of what I don't like, which is in life just as important about knowing what you do like.
hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think that really is that's my takeaway. It's just appreciating what I had and what I didn't have, and they all led me here. So
Nice. That's a really cool way of answering it. Thank you. Okay. So, you know that I hate, loathe, and detest coriander.
yes, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you were to translate that that feeling into a professional setting, what would your coriander be?
Um, my coriander is twofold. Skills wise, it's presenting. I hate it. I'll do it,
Representing.
but I hate it. I'm just not that person. Um,
Mm,
Being in the spotlight, not so much. I think it's back to the presenting thing.
yeah.
Um, and networking. I'm too waffly. I'm great on a one-to-one, but put me in a room full of people. No, it's just I just don't enjoy networking at all. I'd much rather just sit in the background. Um, and on the other side, I suppose if it's not skills, it's just being unauthentic. Just
Yeah.
people who are just not authentic. You can't connect with them. They're not real. They're fake.
Mm,
They're game playing. I just don't relate to that.
yeah.
I would have when I
Yeah.
was 20, but I don't now.
Yeah. Totally. And can I just before we go on to the next question, though, I just want to acknowledge and say thank you very much. The fact that your coriander is presenting and being in the spotlight, and here you are. Thank you for
Oh no!
that.
And you've tried to snare me quite a few times, and I've said, yeah. So
No, appreciate that. But yeah, the inauthenticity, I get that. Okay. So you visited New Zealand when we were living over there, so you know a
yes,
little bit about it. So you
amazing. Yes.
you may or may not be aware that in Maori culture, a koha is a gift. So I guess using that concept loosely, what would, if you could give a koha or gift to somebody right now who's at maybe a bit of going through a career transition or stuck at a bit of a junction, what would that koha be?
Um, I think again, there's
Hmm.
two parts to this. Um, it's my first part would be, although it probably doesn't help at the time when you're in a transitional stage,
Hmm.
but get yourself in the driving seat. Take
Hmm.
responsibility for where you are make sure you've saved, get yourself some money so that you're not beholden to being under anybody else's control. So you've got that elbow room that you can then say, okay, this isn't right for me, I want to be here, and you've just got that buffer to get you where you want to be, even if it's at the starting point. So get yourself in the driving seat, save, have a plan, know who you are and where you want to be. Just
good advice.
Control your environment. And the second part to this is empower yourself. So make yourself the priority. Know your worth, know your skills, question everything, listen to podcasts, learn, grow. Don't be arrogant about it. We're all on this planet together and we don't all know everything. There'll always be someone prettier, better, different skills. There'll always have to be someone with more money, better at connecting, better with fashion, all of that stuff. But just shine your light and know who you are. So don't focus on others and comparing yourself. Just empower yourself and grow and learn and have the right attitude. Say yes, try it.
I love that. Shine your light and know who you are. That's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the end of your 5 Kelly questions, but you know you have a mystery question.
I do.
So this is left from a previous guest, and this is a concept that I have borrowed from Stephen Bartlett. So your question is, what book has had the most profound impact on you?
Oh. Personally or professionally?
Whichever came to mind.
Okay. My favourite book of all time that I have got copies with notes in the margins and well done is The Colour Purple. It is my absolute favourite, speaks to my soul book.
Perfect.
Yeah. So it's that one. It's just so many things. It pulls you out of yourself to understand things from a different perspective. It's got characters in there everybody can kind of relate to. It's about struggles, it's about strife, it's about womanhood, I just love that book. I don't like the film.
Thank you.
I think the film does it complete justice, but the book is just, And
Thank you. I love that. That's so cool.
It changed me. At about 19, I read that, and it's just, just changed. Yeah, it's just part of me.
Thank you, Sam. You've been an absolute pleasure to have on, and thank you very much for all your answers. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Hal. That's really, really nice. I really enjoyed that.